All right. Now I want to start with Priscilla Cachoeira. Even though I'm not picking her to win, I am giving her a chance because she got unusual power. But what I want to point out about Priscilla that I haven't heard too many people talk about is how she's been able to still have her killer instinct intact 100% after being destroyed the way she was destroyed by Valentina, first of all. And then, second of all, she's been able to keep her killer instinct intact despite losing the subsequent two fights after being destroyed by Valentina. So it's bad enough to get beaten like that. It's bad enough to be beaten on like that, especially for a woman, because women typically don't take beatings that are that extreme. For a lot of girls, that changes them forever. They no longer can go for finishes. They don't have a killer instinct. They don't go after their opponents with aggression, not nearly as much aggression as they did before that severe beating. Remember, after being beaten up and knocked out, you remember that tall bantamweight who got knocked out by Josiane Nunes? That was her last fight. She hasn't fought since. If you check records, a lot of girls have made their worst beatings their last fight. Puts a lot of girls out of commission. Not just girls, men too. So Priscilla, in my opinion, has an unusually strong mentality. And that despite the fact that I think she has mental health issues. Seriously. I have to do this. This channel is therapeutic for me because I gotta give people their due props if they've earned it. And that has always struck me as unusual about Priscilla. Like, why is she still this crazed lunatic broad? The same chick she was before she came into the UFC. A zombie. Go in there, straightforward, throwing punches, and the shots have a whole lot of power on them. She still fights like that. So she got whooped by Shevchenko in her debut, and that was her UFC debut. That should have contributed to her losing all her confidence. Like, hey, as soon as you stepped up the UFC level, you got smacked around. And then you went on to lose to Molly McCann and Luana Carolina. Most people only remember the whooping against Shevchenko. But no, this was an extreme low point for Priscilla because before that she was undefeated. She was undefeated and had major buzz because she won so many fights by knockout. That's why Dana White gave her the Shevchenko fight. That was a massive opportunity. I don't know why so many people overlook that. They were not just trying to give Shevchenko anybody. They wanted to give Shevchenko an opponent who was somewhat credible as possible. And this was the best pick of the litter. So I got respect for Priscilla, I think more than most. And I give her a chance in this fight. Like I said, she was able to come back from this low point and get 2 consecutive stoppages against Shauna Dobson. Dobson not that high level. She hasn't gone on to do much. Same with Gina Mazzani. In fact, she's retired. Then she loses to Jillian Robertson. If y'all remember, I picked Jillian Robertson to win that fight. Just like I'm picking Jillian tonight. Or not tonight. Against Marina Rodriguez. Then she defeated Ji Yeon Kim. And her best victory was against Ariane Lipsky. But y'all remember, that was at bantamweight because Priscilla couldn't make flyweight. That was the first time she fought at bantamweight. and it looks like that's why she's going back to bantamweight. Okay, Priscilla's most recent bout was at bantamweight against Jasmine Jasudavicius. A lot of people forget that too. I forgot it myself. That Jasmine's victory over Priscilla was at bantamweight. Now look at Jasmine. Now, maybe it's just me, but haven't you all put a lot more respect on Jasmine's name after she lost to Natalia? Wasn't her image kind of in the dumps after getting whooped like that by Natalia Silva, especially after putting her finger in Silva's face like that and getting all cocky, then to go in there and get whooped like that in Canada, mind you. Well, not Canada, that was in Austin, Texas. Excuse me, that was in Austin, Texas. It was in the United States. She had a bunch of Canadians at that stadium rooting for her. Silva didn't have a bunch of Brazilians. When there got smacked around. Then she rebounded in a victory against Gabriela Fernandez, a fighter irate. She got power. One of them Brazilians with a lot of power. Y'all got to watch out for those chicks. That's the same type of fighter that stopped Wayne Kong. Ended her hype train. And remember, Wayne Kong, hands down, if you ask me, had more height than any recent fighter in history in UFC. These girls, as far as WMMA is concerned. That was top shelf hype and buzz that was killed by a random Brazilian. Okay? And then Jasmine had another victory, and I give credit for this, against Miranda Maverick. Maverick, a lot of people don't realize, is entering her prime. Whether or not that's going to help her rise through the rank, we'll see. But she's 27 now. She was one of those young teeny boppers who was good, but really was not a part of the elite of the new crop of fighters. She's currently on the longest win streak of her UFC career. She might be on that path. Okay? Stay mindful of that. Miranda has a fairly impressive win streak currently. 4-fight win streak. A lot of these fighters are entering their prime. They're in their late 20s right now, and at the, the best that they've ever been. All right, excuse me. So, she defeated Lipsky. That was the height of Priscilla's career in the UFC after that stoppage over Lipsky, but it was a bad look because she couldn't make weight. She had to convince Lipsky to accept the fight at bantamweight. And that was the second time Priscilla had done that. And y'all remember that. So one fighter turned the fight down. It's like, I ain't fighting this chick. She's trying to fight me at bantamweight. And Priscilla kind of talked down on her for not accepting the fight. I'm like, girl, is you crazy? Nobody fighting you in a whole new division at the last second. You trying to get some unfair advantage. You knew this whole while you was going to try to fight at bantamweight, which means you've been preparing for it. Your opponent has not. I don't blame him for not accepting that fight. But anyway, Priscilla went on then to lose to Miranda Maverick, which is a bad loss. Okay, that was a bad beating. That was Miranda's best victory. Best victory of Miranda's career was against Priscilla Cachoeira. Remember that. Same is the case with Jasmine Jasudavicius. For a number of fighters, Priscilla was their most dominant opponent. They were the most dominant over Priscilla. Same with Valentina Shevchenko. Her historic victory over Priscilla, that was the scariest Shevchenko's ever looked, aside from her fight against Jessica Eye. She looked scarier against Jessica Eye. I'll take that back. She looked scarier against Jessica Eye. But her fight against Priscilla was up there. So it's not like I'm just saying that Nunes has this fight in the bag. I like the fight because it's one of the few fights where you're almost guaranteed to get a stoppage. I know people don't rate their skill set. Fine. But they are stoppage heavy as far as their record, as far as their history is concerned. Josiane needs this fight. She needs this victory. And, I'm sort of taking a chance picking her. She on a 2-fight losing streak. Okay? What you're looking at now is Josiane Nunes' record. No longer looking at Priscilla's most recent loss, split decision against Cavalcante. In that fight, I was a little critical of Cavalcante because I felt like she could have fought the way she fought in the last few seconds of the third round throughout the entire duration of the fight. But Nunes is small. She's a small chick. And against Cavalcante is huge. She fought at 155 in the PFL. Remember that. Cavalcante did. Even though she was fattened, she's accustomed to fighting much bigger fighters. And if she can fight at 155, she can fight at 145. Whereas her opponent here is coming up from flyweight. Priscilla's coming up from 125. So this might be one of those matches where Nunes is not so outsized. She's still going to be outsized. Priscilla is still taller. Josiane is short, 5'3", right? She's down there around Jessica Andrade and Tisha Torres' height. But as far as body mass, she's not going to be as outsized. Priscilla 5'7", Josiane 5'3". Look at that. And remember, Josiane has fought at 125, and I said she need to go back. I don't know, maybe she can't now. Maybe she got too much muscle on her body, and she can't make 125. That's where she need to be. If you real short, the lowest weight classes possible is best for you. Is the best divisions for you, in my opinion. Now, Andrade was able to make it work at bantamweight, but as we all know, Andrade has superhuman strength. That's the only thing that made her competitive at bantamweight against much bigger fighters. Andrade, physically, has any other fighter done that? Fought at 115 and bantamweight and was a serious threat in both divisions? I always stay mindful of that in the fighters who do that. All this weight, because remember, they should get the most credit for doing it. That's the one thing WMMA and the UFC has, the advantage that the women have over the men, is that the women get more credit for being as effective in a higher division as they were in a lower division, like Alexa Grasso. Because the lowest division are the hardest divisions that you're able to do that. So, yeah, that's sort of working against. I expect it to kind of work against Priscilla and work in Josiane's favor. The fact that she's coming up from 125, even though Priscilla is effective. Obviously, at 135, she has a knockout at the weight. Now, another fight. I'm gonna do a blind pick. And what I mean by that is that I'm gonna take a fighter in the fight, even though I haven't properly studied the film on them and how they fight. And I'm gonna take Judas. I've watched both of them fight. I've seen their fights, but even though I've watched fighters fight, I'll still go back and watch their fights if they're matched up against each other, and I'm trying to make a pick, because I look at the fight different. I look at them different when I'm trying to make a prediction, because I'm trying to see how their styles will clash against each other. And I haven't done that, but I'm gonna go ahead and take Judas, even though I don't like picking blondes over brunettes. I don't like doing that. I'm telling you, if you look at the statistics, brunettes, and a lot of times they be Brazilians or these Hispanic chicks, they usually beat the blondes. That's just how. In fact, I'm going to change my pick. I'm taking Dubin. Oh, I'm sorry, Judas. I mean, right? That name is probably fitting right now. Let's look at her record. Oh, this is terrible. This is no wonder fighters don't like me. I know. Fighters, I know. You out there listening, I know y'all don't like WMMA Addict. But I told y'all not to listen to these hole-in-the-wall channels anyway, so I don't want to hear nothing. Don't want to hear it. Carly Judas. Let's take a gander at her record before tonight's card pops off. Uh-oh. Okay, so she does not have a Wikipedia. Let's check out her Sherdog. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, she recently lost. She's already suffered a loss in the U. Oh, she's 3-2. 3-2. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay. That's not a good look. Oh, she on a 2-fight losing streak. Both split decisions, but yeah. I mean, okay. She lost on the Contender Series. Then they turn around and give her a contract anyway. Then she loses her UFC debut. Yeah, I'm going to take her opponent. Her opponent undefeated. Okay? Now, I'm probably making a mistake right now. Because that undefeated record don't mean nothing. It really is all about styles, people. It's like primarily fights are about styles. But I don't care. I'm looking at the odds. Brunettes usually whoop blondes. Especially in the fighters with records like this, usually whoop fighters with records like that. So we'll see. I'm taking Dubin. All right. And this should be fun. I'm going to keep a good eye on her skill set. She's another undefeated fighter who could potentially create buzz, above average buzz. Okay. What's her first name? Where is she from? What flag is that? Ain't that Colombia? I don't know what flag that is. Okay, yeah, let me. The page is unresponsive. Okay, we're gonna wait. Or exit page. Okay, my computer is gonna crash right here. Okay, we good? We good. Okay, I want to find out. I know I don't want to find that out. Now, another fight. I'm rolling with Sam Hughes. I've watched Stephanie's fights. I've watched them. And I'm still taking Sam Hughes. Stephanie is that's that babyface chick. She actually had a lot of buzz in her UFC debut. She won her UFC, and it was impressive. Remember, she landed a flying knee. Okay? Hey, I'm telling you, Sam Hughes, she's going to be up against it. I don't count this Stephanie chick out. Oh, another thing. Stephanie Luciano, hey, listen to her last name. But she's Brazilian. Okay? So she comes from a country of fighters. Let me get rid of some of these goofy. It's really that Sure Dog. That's why I don't like going to Sure Dog. They dump a whole lot of cookies and pop-ups on your. I hate Sure Dog. Yeah, y'all getting bad coverage on here, on this channel, for y'all's website. Reduce all that garbage on y'all's website. Then I give you a positive review. Until then, yeah, y'all deserve that. I'm going to Tapology next. I'm going to y'all's website. I wish UFC would allow people to show footage without giving you a copyright strike. You know, the channel would be a lot more fun if they would allow us to do that. God doggone it. Okay, I'm going to Tapology. I ain't going to y'all's website no more. Huh? In Tapology, if y'all do the same thing, slow my computer down, you're getting bad coverage too. We looking up records. We don't want to see all this garbage. Shouldn't be no pop-ups, nothing on these websites. All right, what are we looking at here? 4 wins, 1 loss. Okay, Stephanie. So she's okay. Only 4 fights. Maybe I just got struggled. You know what was crazy? I got the most expensive service, internet service. This, which is supposed to be the fastest. And as you can see, you get overwhelmed easily. So I bought extra RAM. None of that stuff helps, right? None of it. You just got to get a computer that's specially built to move fast. Like the computers at my job move super fast. They're superhuman fast. Okay, now I really got to get out of here. Tapology, you the same way. These are horrible websites, man. That's why I always use Wikipedia. Wikipedia don't have all this bandwidth, and they got a video popping up here. Don't nobody want to look at y'all that desperate for money, for ad revenue. Jeez. Can't even make your websites user friendly. Y'all might see that more on my videos on some other platforms. More ads. Y'all notice there's been an uptick in ads in videos across the board on YouTube? All your favorite channels, as you're watching them, haven't y'all noticed more often now there are pop-ups or ads being played like in the middle of the videos? YouTube is actually telling content creators to do that. They get pop-ups where they say, hey, everybody else experienced a 20% increase in revenue when they display ads throughout the video. Why don't you go ahead and do it too? I'm telling you, this is what they do here on YouTube. That's why y'all seeing more ads. Content creators, a lot of people don't know this. Content creators can make it where y'all never see ads on the videos. I got several videos like that. So just stay mindful of that. A lot of y'all think it's all on YouTube. It's not. Okay, now I don't know if I'm still live or what's going on. I tried to close this window. It has not closed. And it's like the computer's just about to completely crash here. We might as well watch it crash live. Why not? I could end this live, but well, I got time. I'm off work. Let's just watch how horrible Tapology is. You see this Tapology? Y'all deserve this. Deserve this type of coverage. Yeah, I recently defragmented my computer. It's still slowing everything down. Why are you showing a video? Like what do you think a person who's looking up a fighter's record, what kind of video do you think they'd like to watch anyways? Oh man.